All right. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Matt Pfeiffer. This is Conversations on Retail. We're so glad you're with us today. I've been looking forward to this conversation with a man that's become a friend of mine, and I've really enjoyed getting to know Yatin Shelar. He's got a really remarkable story that he's going to share with us about kind of his journey and upbringing professionally through consumer product development and sourcing. Really a remarkable story, but he's going to spend the bulk of his time today talking about e-commerce platforms. He and his team developed a platform of their own, spending a lot of time in the marketplace looking around and identifying some opportunities where they could develop a platform from scratch and play. And he's going to tell you a little bit about that. But really the purpose of this conversation is to get folks talking about what are some of the other e-commerce platforms that are out there. A lot of companies want to focus on the big ones, Amazon and Walmart and others, of course. But what are some of the other e-commerce platforms that brands ought to be paying close attention to? So what I would say, and I'll say as more people jump on in the next couple of minutes, but we want this to be a conversation. And as you have questions, if you would, click on the Q&A button and submit me those questions. And we would love to allow you to interact with Yatin as much as possible as we go. So I'm going to turn it over to you. I'd love for you to start with an introduction, talk about kind of who you are, what you've done, and your journey as an e-commerce entrepreneur.
Matt, as you know, it has been a long journey. I've been in business since 1989. So essentially, I'm just saying how old I am. But it has been an interesting journey, as it not only got me started into business here in America, but it also took me overseas into China, India, Nepal, Bangladesh, and then later into Madagascar and Kenya in Africa and Haiti in the Caribbean. Most of those years were dedicated to manufacturing and sourcing apparel and textiles. But we did dabble into manufacturing tennis balls in 2006 is when we got into the tennis ball business. And we sourced those out of Indonesia. So along the way, it has been a natural transition per se to start selling online. I guess for now, for anybody to have credibility, you have to have a website. But just and we did that. But having a website doesn't essentially mean you're going to have traffic and you're going to have sales. So the journey started where, okay, we're not happy with sales on our own website. Let's look at marketplaces. We found that, of course, selling on Amazon and Walmart.com and Jet when they were still in business is the fastest way to market. You don't have to spend 2 years trying to sell a product to a buyer. You're going direct to consumer. But as we ventured more and more into all these marketplaces, there are pros and cons. There is good and bad. And so we understand that most of these marketplaces, the big boys, do things what is right for them. So they do not have a distinct line between products that third-party sellers will sell and products that the marketplace will sell. It's looked at as an opportunistic way of doing business, where if something starts doing really well, can it be sourced overseas and sold directly by the marketplace? Those things are happening. But nonetheless, we have learned that if we are in the business of selling, we want to be in as many outlets as you want. Talking from a manufacturer standpoint, there are some concerns as to where you put your product, but unless you're selling Chanel or something of that branding level, your main focus is on sales. Focus is also on being in the right places where there is brand integrity and your brands are protected. So as we started looking into this, we felt that as a manufacturer, as a brand owner, or even if you're simply a reseller, and your only focus is to get awareness for your brand, to increase sales, and that essentially to me is success. Why not sell on as many marketplaces that are available out there? And so we started looking at what's out there, what's more. So I would like to essentially just run a quick list of where people should look at. There are some where you can sell anything and everything. And then there are some that are very narrow in their niche towards a certain category. So Matt, you had asked me as what are some of the marketplaces that one should look at. And so on a generalized basis, as a must, I would say, of course, start selling on Amazon. It is day by day getting a little challenging because Amazon is restricting certain categories, and so you have to see if your product fits in there. But then you have Walmart.com, which is right there with almost the same traffic. You have eBay. You have right behind all them is Target.com. But Target per se is heavily gated. So again, try it. If you're accepted, great. But it really doesn't add that much, would not add that much to your sales. So based on your product, based on your categories that you're in, I would suggest that you look also on a bunch of other websites that we on a regular basis hear about. One is Newegg. Then there is SBox. There's a bunch of others. Wayfarer is one of them. If you're liquidating product, or actually, even if you're not liquidating products, Overstock is a good place for furniture, for home goods, for many other things. And then there are some smaller ones called Cherish if you're into furniture alone. So the list goes on and on. It's just where you want to be and where you want to grow your sales through. But coming at approaching all this online business, whether you're selling on Amazon, whether you're selling on Walmart or eBay, you still have to invest, or even if it's, especially if it's your own website. Yeah, we quickly learned that you have to invest a lot of money and time into advertising, into social media, into blog writings, into reaching out to the right people you think is your audience, spending a lot of man hours on Google, Google advertising, and so on and so forth. If your company is not big enough and has that ability to create its own digital marketing team, it can get challenging. It can be actually challenging even if you are a big company, because just with your own website, you're just preaching to the same core day in, day out. They're already an audience of yours. They're coming in loyally. They're buying what they need and they move on. But if you want to go beyond that, marketplaces are the best way to go. While we learned that, let's just take Amazon as an example. When we first started selling, it took a while for our products to start getting close to the front page. But when it did, to maintain that, we had to continue the spend we were doing on advertising in Amazon. So it quickly adds a huge cost that the minute you stop doing that, your product slips. So it's not per se a catalyst where you invest over a period of time and then it takes its own wheels and runs with it. It's a continuity spend. Some of these drawbacks can be scary to a smaller company whose margins are low. So where we felt the biggest challenges is on marketplaces that are in that same role model. They want their customers to know only them. For Amazon's customers, they just want to know they're buying from Amazon. So it's not in the interest of Amazon to promote your brand, a third party's brand or a third party's business name per se. That is one of the drawbacks. Second, the customers are Amazon customers. They're not your customers. Some brands, some bigger brands tend to get repeat customers. That loyalty is transferred back and forth. But majority of the products bought on marketplaces is just based on what shows up in the first 1 or 2 or 3 pages and price. So how does a manufacturer, brand owner, reseller, how do they create a customer base? That was the second challenge that we saw that we could not solve. On the other hand, there is also this fear that if you do get extremely successful, are there chances that Amazon might just duplicate your product and start selling it under Amazon Basics? You really cannot compete with Amazon Basics because they have the expertise to put their products on page 1, and nor does a third-party seller have the wherewithal to compete with them through advertising dollars. So taking all these concerns, Uh, we started out with a simple idea that one, just pushing our product through our own website is going to take tremendous amount of money. Even if we are ready to do that, uh, it just doesn't tend to justify that expense. So this whole philosophy of what can we do then? And this one little tagline started the whole conversation with what I'm going to share with you next is together we win. So the thought came that like us, there are at least 500,000 other businesses, big and small, that are going through the same struggle, have the same issues that we have been having. So why not create a marketplace that is extremely seller-centric? And by what does that mean, being seller-centric? One is creating a platform that's extremely easy to sign up, creating a platform that's extremely easy to list your products, and absolutely affordable. I mean, where can you go for free or $12 to create another point of sale? It's very interesting to see a lot of companies spend thousands and thousands of dollars going to trade show, hoping they get one more retail store owner to buy from them, and they have one more outlet to say they're selling in so many stores. We created a online marketplace called turtlesegg.com. Please visit that if you get a chance, turtlesegg.com. We are in our early season, but everything that makes it fair for a seller is built in. It's got, we have opened up all categories, so you're not restricted to any, it's not a niche marketplace. You can sell just about anything. The only things we don't allow is adult products and used products, except for laptops and books. So those two are the only used items that we would allow our seller partners to sell on. Our transaction fees are inclusive of all credit card fees, all sales tax, APIs, and so all you get to see exactly what it's going to cost you to sell on our platform. There is no fee to list products like Etsy does. Etsy is another great example if you're in the artistic business, but they charge similar to what eBay used to do. They charge 20 cents or something per item you list. And so with us, you can sign up with the free plan. There's no cost to adding your listings. You can place up to 50 products, 50 SKUs with as many variations as possible. And then there's a $12 plan. If you pay yearly, it comes to under $10. With that, you pay a little less commission. But what you get in return is we actually promote your products. We promote your brand. We do a paid advertising on Google at our expense to promote you. So what that does is takes a little burden off you from our marketplace, that your brand is getting awareness, whether it is through LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest. We promote your product through all 5 of those social media accounts. And then the paid is done through Google Ads. That seems to, we have tried Facebook, but it seems on most of our advertising, we seem to get a better result or a better ROI as we think of it. But we have a marketing team that works with the seller partners. And remember, we don't think of you as vendors. We think of you as seller partners because it goes back to the whole thought process of together we win. The more the marketplace does better, the more you do better. And we also have something that maybe not to all sellers, but quite a few, I think, nowadays, is a giving back aspect to Total Zeg. So we currently have committed 0.5% of our revenue and 5% of our profits to charities. And this, almost any charity can sign up for it for free. It's a one-time sign up. Currently, we have some really interesting charities that have signed up that, for example, animal rescue and charities that do good for children's causes. And none of the donations that we make are a burden on our seller partners nor on our customers. That is very important because it comes out of the transaction fee that we charge you. That's it. One of the key promises that our marketplace makes is also that we will never compete with our seller partners. We are not in the game to learn from your adventures, use you as a guinea pig, but simply to provide a platform for you to be successful. When you do get a chance to visit totalsegg.com, you will see how prominently we have allowed our seller partners to post their logos, post their story right on the product page. So customers really get to know you. Not only that, but you get to build a customer list whom you can email on a regular basis and promote your brand and your products. Today, the only way is to be successful is just reaching people in the right way. And I believe we have really, the last 2 years, we have been putting this together, and we continue to keep making improvements as we have a long way to go on this. But the platform is ready for any and all of you to simply sign up. It takes 5 minutes and start loading your products. You can do it in bulk. You can do it in single products. If you are new to the game, we have a seller care team that will walk you through every step of the way, and if necessary, even list your products for you. Of course, you have to help them with all the details. A simple Excel sheet with all the information is a good start. So, and they're available about 12 hours a day. So give us a try.
Well, obviously, I'm a big fan, and I've had an opportunity to collaborate with you a little bit for the better part of the last year, and I love the seller centricity, and I love the things that you said about so many marketplaces. You know, you have to worry about a lot of different things, but having the marketplace end up competing with you is certainly is certainly a worry. And I think what you've done with your platform is you've really kind of democratized e-commerce, and you've made it possible for some of the smaller brands to participate. I know I've got a profile, and I have gotten busy, but I have the intention of creating a store on the platform myself. So super excited about the work that you're doing. If anyone has any questions for Yatin, hit the Q&A button. I think we'll be wrapping up in a few minutes. But what other advice would you give, especially to a small company that's wanting to get started? You talked about the investment in marketing and social media activity, but what other advice would you give for that smaller, like consumer product entrepreneur that's just getting started as they look to e-commerce? I was just having a conversation last night about the whole direct to consumer business, managing your own website, e-commerce fulfillment. It's just so much work. And to have a partner, like a Turtle's Egg that can do a lot of that heavy lifting for you, seems like it makes it a lot easier to get started. But anyway, I'll let you answer the question. What advice would you give to that small company just getting started?
The first thing is contact us at seller@turtlesegg.com. Let's get the conversation started. It's a simple phone call away, a 10-minute phone call for us to understand what your goals are and what exactly you're selling, and see if it's something that we can help you with. But once we get that started, once you make a decision to sign up with us, it's a matter of 5 minutes getting through the whole process. But some of the things that one should understand, and I think a lot of your audience from where you come from, Matt, are the big boys who sell to Walmart, and they've been doing it for ages. And why do they need to go to a small marketplace? Well, if you're selling, just understand one thing. If you're going to Walmart and trying to sell a product, it takes you a year and a half to get in, even if your product is great and it's the right mix to them. At the end of the day, how long you stay in Walmart also depends on how well supported, well received your product is by consumers. So like it or not, you're selling to consumers, direct or indirect. So how do you create an awareness of your product without selling hundreds of thousands of TV ads and commercials?
Yeah.
Turtles is an answer. Second, I keep using Walmart because I know Arkansas is in your blood and you know them in and out, is if I'm selling to Walmart, I don't just want to be selling my product in 20 stores in my area. I want to be in all their 6,000 plus stores. So the more stores because it's common sense that the more places you're selling in, the more possibilities of growth. And so using that same basic knowledge, why not sell in all these other marketplaces as well? And if it is a low cost option, why not run with it? Doesn't matter if you're selling $1,000 a month or whether you're selling 50 million a month. Why not? One more sale is just one more sale. That's how I look at business.
Yeah.
So give us a call. Our number is on our website. And yes, you will be talking to somebody live. You will have seller support, or drop us an email. That's all is needed to get this started.
All right. Well, Yatin Shelar, my friend, it is so great to see you and to spend time with you. Thank you for investing this time in this conversation with us. And I hope that the folks that are with us live and the folks that are going to be tuning in later on video will take a close look at Turtle's Egg. Like I said, me as an entrepreneur involved in a lot of different things, it is quite compelling as a marketplace, especially for somebody wanting to get started. But like you said, even for the bigger brands, you've really created a seller-centric, seller-friendly model where you can not only get started easily, but you can feel good about the business that you're doing with the 0.5% of sales and then the percent of your profits, 5% of your profits going to charities. You're really doing something special. So congratulations to you and your team and your family for the success you've had. It's been fun catching up with you, and I wish you well, my friend.
Thank you very much, man.